couple years ago, they did the whole no fair share thing. And I actually, for 2 years, I paid 80% of the union dues for 2 years, and I never even belonged to them. They were allowed to just take my money. We're like, this can't be right. It's got to be unconstitutional. And so they went to the whole legislature thing, and they're like, yeah, they're not allowed to be doing that. Now, I never got a dime of that back, but that's 80% of the union's dues for 2 years. It's just gone. They said they're representing me. And I'm like, what they don't understand is if a parent was going to sue me or whatever the case might be, the school still has to represent me no matter what, because I'm an employee of the school district. I know that a certain percentage of the dues were going to support Joe Biden, and I'm not a Joe Biden supporter. So I didn't want, I would never, even if I thought I was being protected by somebody, I still wouldn't want my money going towards somebody or into some organization that I didn't believe in. I don't want to speak against all union members, because unfortunately, there are a lot of them that pay their dues, do what they think because they're being told it's the right thing to do, and they have no idea where their dues are going. They just think that they have to do it because they're a teacher. And so there are good people in the union. It's the union itself, but then it's the higher ups, it's the reps, it's the ones that understand the workings of the union. They're the ones that want to, push the buttons and do all the poking. And what they don't understand is people like me will push back. If, one, we actually looked out for each other, if we actually did what they said they were going to do, that would be great. If I knew that my dues were going to a good cause or a good purpose, or whether, like I said, whether it's going to the school, if it's even going back to my students, I would sign up, but it doesn't. I think some people looked at it like, well, if we stay in the union, then we have a say, we have a voice. See, they'll tell you all that stuff. Like, oh yeah, there's power in numbers. That's true to a point, because my in-laws work for Harley Davidson. You guys, everyone's familiar with Harley Davidson. They caught people sleeping in trucks and not doing their job and still couldn't fire them. And so then they came out and said, okay, you want to play hardball? Here's how it's going to be. Stop countersuing us. If you're not doing your job, we're going to fire you. If you don't, we're shutting the plant down. We're going to move to Indiana. What are they going to do at that point? And if these schools wise up, it could be the same way. I'm friends with some of these administrators, and we talk about these things all the time. And I hear it all the time. They're like, man, we would get rid of so-and-so, but our hands are bound. You got parents that call and complain. You got parents that say this person's horrible. You got parents that say all these things, and they can't do anything. They can't do anything. They're protected. So the only thing you can do is hope they get old quick and retire. I actually have twice the coverage through, you guys and Keita than I did through if I ever belonged to the union. So, and not that that's a selling point, but the fact is not only am I behind something I can believe in, but I have more support. And when I tell people that, and when I compare costs, they're like, they can't believe it. I can't stand when people want to raise these kids because they're not ours to raise. They're ours to teach, but not ours to push political views on. That's not our place. And that's the stuff that happens. But I would tell employees, I've seen, I hate to say it, but most companies that have unions that push fail. They do. They fail. They either go bankrupt, or they turn over, or they close shop and they move somewhere else. I've seen people push hard enough because they thought they had that much control that nothing was ever good enough. They never made enough money, and so they made enough stink that they closed the doors and people lost their livelihoods. Then you get the people standing around going, I thought that we were protected. I thought, yeah, but that's the part they're not told. You're only protected for so long. You still have a job to do, and people don't have to put up with it. You got these people pushing agendas. You got people that won't open up. So for you to sit there and say, well, I'm worried about myself. But then don't be a teacher.